Yes. How you doing? How you handling the apocalypse that we're in right now? Strange times.
As best I can.
Yeah, it's very odd that we're not gigging right now.
No shit, man.
Yeah.
One, it's weird too because we like Hippie Speedball just recorded all that stuff, so like we're
I know.
so close to finishing it, like all together. You know, it's still getting done, but like
I know.
such a huge bump in the road.
Yeah, and like I said, I was talking on another one of these with someone with Vuyani, how I hope this makes artists realize how valuable their music should be.
Yeah.
Because again, like I told him, records don't really have any value, and we can't rely on sales to get us through this. So gigging was pretty much all we had.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, and especially if you haven't done like any of the online stuff before, like, you know, if you're strictly indie and that it like the gigging is your thing, yeah. But that online, the streaming, some of it's worth doing with the tip jars and that sort of thing if you can get a good reading going.
Yeah, and if you also can get the people in to watch, that's the other. Yeah, I think everyone's trying to figure this thing out. Hopefully, like when this is all said and done, those business models will be more established now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, my friend Auburn, you should look her up, Auburn Stevens. She's been running online music festivals through this thing. She's on like her second or third one now. And she's just really good at the online stuff. I played her online show not too long ago, right before all this happened. And I was like, damn, I'm so far behind. Because she has like mastered, like she's a full-time musician because of her online presence with like she does a stream every Wednesday night with a guest.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah, and so it's pretty incredible. And she splits the tips with them, and she has a following now. It's dope.
I think too with this, they should try to figure out a way to, like Facebook especially, should figure out a way to like such and such artist is playing at 6 o'clock on Saturday, but it's not free to watch. They have to pay up front.
Yeah.
Maybe like $2 to view. And, you know, that's hardly anything. But then you're not totally reliant on the mercy of tips. And it's more like... Go ahead.
You can do like, so I use Bandsoogle, and I'm like a real nag. Like I'm always emailing them with like suggestions on how to make it better. I needed to do this and it doesn't do it yet.
Right.
But they have a subscription thing in beta right now. So what you could do is you could embed your live stream in one of your web pages, and people land on the web page and it's like members only. You can register right here. So you register, become a $2 a month member, and you get access to the live stream page, which also has like t-shirts for sale right below it and that sort of thing, you know?
That's cool, because then it turns it into like an actual show, like you're paying the cover almost.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, that EP release show last year was supposed to be that sort of thing. Like the live stream was on a web page, and it had like links to all the other bands who were playing, links to merch. So it was an online show with all the things at a real show, you know?
Right. So yeah, you're like, let's talk about the release thing, because you're like a master at hustling. I'm pretty impressed with how you put shows together. You're really good at that. What are the secrets? Because when I put my first record out, I got really good at like PR stuff and connecting with writers and people to do reviews and magazines and stuff. But the booking aspect of things for a lot of musicians is very tough. Some people feel like they're begging for a gig. Other people are just like, oh, yeah, let's put the show together and blah, blah, blah. And next thing you know, there's like 500 people in the crowd and they had no problems. Yeah. How do you go about it?
I just email people with confidence.
Right.
I have like a one sheet and everything. And I'm like, look, this is what I put for like my last release. I emailed Back Corner and I was like, look, I put out 3 music videos with a 4-minute long mini movie to promote the project as a whole already. and they've
Yeah.
accumulated this many views, and I think I'll have this many people there, whatever. But you also have to be down to like pay the freaking production fees and all that shit, you know?
Right.
That's
Yeah.
what stops a lot of people from playing places like that, I think. Because that was like a $300 production fee.
Yeah. So basically, it's kind of like the same thing. You just hit people up with confidence. And so, like, here's another thing. Like, when do you, like, you shoot a venue a message. Hey, I'd like to play your venue, book this. When do you do a follow-up, and how do you go about doing the follow-up, if at all?
I think it depends on if you're doing like in-town stuff or booking an out-of-town tour. But when I was doing out-of-town stuff, and this was a few years back, I was doing it through Indie on the Move. You know that site?
Oh, yeah.
So booking shows through there, and me and my stepmom did it, and we started like 3 months in advance or 4 months in advance, and we'd email them and wait a month. And we'd email like, 5 or 6 clubs in that region, that pocket that we were passing through about that window of dates or whatever. And some would email back and some would not. But yeah, we'd wait like a month and follow up. I don't know. It's really hard because like you have no control over that. Like that's the worst part about the whole thing because booking people don't have to email you back.
Right.
There's always someone willing to play there.
Yeah, a friend of mine said he always feels like he's begging.
Mm-hmm.
So when
I don't know if so it's easier if you are not representing yourself. I'll say that.
Yeah. Because the other people have the black book and people know who they are.
Well, not only that, but like it's hard. Like it's way easier for me to sell you. Like I can talk with confidence about you to other people and like your bass playing, and I can like But when it comes to like doing that for myself, I feel like an egotistical ass. Like
right.
Doing it for myself. Yeah. But if someone, and that comes across too, like if I get an email from someone like, hey, I'm dope, I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
You get an email from someone else saying, yo, you need to check this person out because I see what you're doing and it would do great with what they're doing, or, Yeah. It makes a difference. And I mean, you can get a Gmail account with whatever name you want.
Yeah, and it's so time consuming too.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think musicians quite realize how time consuming it is, but it can be done.
Oh yeah, well, and that's the thing. Like Dad and Harley and everybody else that I grew up with always either told me or kind of like led by example. Like the difference a lot of times is like how much farther you're willing to go. Yeah.
I hear so many musicians get really frustrated and they go so far and they kind of stop, and it's like, and I don't have anything against record deals, but when I start hearing people put all their hope in a record deal, because you and I are both independent artists and we've had some success in that.
Yeah.
And we didn't have a record deal when we did that, and it's very accessible, I think, to anybody. If your art is good enough and you've got the desire and the drive to actually do something, people are going to hear it and see it, But
I think that's true. I hope that's true.
I think it's true. I think it's very true if you're being true to yourself too in your art.
That's what I tell people that I've been doing like social media consultation. Like that's a very professional sounding word for whatever.
Right.
But
right.
it's like someone the other day was like, let me know if you see me doing something wrong. And I was like, there's no, like, as long as you're genuinely being yourself and writing your own story and putting effort into the things that you do, like those things come across and people respond to that. And there's really no way you can do that wrong. Like,
yeah. When I first came to town, which was like to Nashville, was like, man, how long have I been here? 14 years ago.
Damn.
The hustle that everyone tells you when you get to town, you got to play with everybody and try to do everything you can. And I was doing that and it wasn't working because I was putting myself in situations where I I wasn't playing to my strengths.
Mm-hmm.
And people could see it, and, I think I'm a decent bass player, but when I'm playing to my weaknesses, it just makes me seem like I'm not that good,
Yeah.
So one day I was like, you know what, screw it. I'm only going to start doing things that I'm really good at, that I really enjoy doing. And then once I did that and put out a record of what I wanted to hear, people were like, man, how long you been in town? Like,
Yeah.
I've been here for 14 years, man. I'm just playing to who I am as an artist and not who I think people want me to be.
When you're doing something different, like,
Mm-hmm.
not every bass player in town is putting out something like that, or
Right.
anything at all, solo-wise,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I've had people ask about you.
Hopefully it was good questions.
You got John playing bass with you now, don't you? And I'm like, yeah. Like, that's all you know about the band? They're like, yeah.
Me in every picture I'm in with the band, I have the bass on. I'm the only guy that always has his bass. Here, look.
That's a good thing, though.
Yeah, that's cool.
Better than a guy who never has a bass on. Who
Right
claims to be a
on.
bass player.
So, tell me about the writing process for you. I'm really curious about that because I'm writing right now for a new record.
Mm-hmm.
And the concept I wanted to do was a little bit different from my previous ones. But I think because of that, it's like I've got 7 ideas in the can, but they're more like trying to find my space for this particular concept. They're not really probably ideas that I will use.
Mm-hmm.
And I know when I'm writing, like every song seems to come from a different angle. I might have been noodling, or another one I might have been playing with a drum machine. Another one I probably wrote the melody first, all to get to the same point. So what's your process?
I think it depends on the end goal, but like my last EP, I think we kind of chose, like Trey helped me choose those songs out of a bigger list of songs that I chose for the project. And the concept of the thing as a whole with the music videos and everything was just kind of like that Nashville, Music City, bittersweet like journey that you have here as an artist, especially one that's not like cookie cutter country, because I was always in the country world of shit, but I was never what they wanted the
Right.
chick to be in that world of shit. But so like every song on that album is kind of right down the middle, like my path here.
So do you write lyrics first, or how's that work?
Lyrics, a lot of times I'll have like a long thing of words, and then they'll change based on what I'm capable of playing on guitar.
Oh, okay. That's
so like
cool.
My melody ideas are usually way cooler, in my opinion, before I try to turn them into a song by myself.
The live stream you did, you played I Drive.
Mm-hmm.
That was awesome because I heard you play it the way I think you intended it to originally be. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's what's going to be interesting about the thing that I'm doing now, because I've never I just hate playing guitar live, and so I never want to set myself up to have to do that for forever, but I'm the only person who does it the way I do it.
It sounded amazing. And I noticed right away, I was like, holy cow, that sounds really, really good. I could tell on the record, I'm not dissing the record or anything. The record's awesome where I was.
I played it on the record too.
But I could tell the musicians were trying to like all of us do, we try to make the song sound better than how it was presented. But hearing it like that was like, geez, that was really good. You should do more of that.
There's about to be a whole 10-song out. I'm putting out a whole 10-song album just from me and the garage band.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's cool. That's kind of what I'm doing right now.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be all right. when I was growing up, all I listened to mostly, like, I didn't have any clue what was going on with pop culture in the now, because all of my little iPod thing and everything was like friends' work tapes and shit.
Yeah.
Like the guitar vocals where you can hear like the birds and the bees and the
Right.
dogs and stuff. Like that was like, I loved listening to that stuff. So hopefully there's like some people out there that want that now.
No, I noticed it right away, and I could actually hear, like in that song in particular on the live stream, I could hear like a really stripped down version of that with a band, for sure. Sometimes, underproduced stuff sometimes can be so much better than the overproduced stuff,
I think you just have to have it all. I think part of the reason I've like been held up the majority of times I've been held up over the years is because I've been like too caught up on trying to be like something people can label and like put into a thing and like.
Yeah.
But it's like I don't want to be the same thing all the time, because I hate, like, I don't want to hear an hour of anybody doing the same shit. Like,
Yeah.
if you have the ability to do some broken down things and some band stuff and like it still all kind of sounds like you, it's like I think that would be the
So being like
exist.
So being as like prolific as you are, how do you get over the hurdle of perfectionism that's in a lot of artists? Like a lot of artists, that actually holds them back from putting out stuff. I think it serves a lot of maturity for a musician to be able to say, here it is, this is my heart, I put it out, boom. And some guys or girls cannot get past the need for everything to be perfect.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you deal with that?
I don't know. I think maybe because like my first EP came out, like those recordings were like mastered when I was probably 18.
Yeah.
And I hated them ever since. But Picture on My Wall got into that freaking show and has like thousands of streams online, and people love it. Like that's the only thing that some of these people know of me. So I can't like, whatever, take it down or whatever. But I hate the way my voice sounds on it. Like I hate that part of it. The rest of it's cool, but it's like, damn, y'all, I can't believe you told me that was okay. Like
So like your first endeavor was like ripping the BandAid off, and then now from then on you're like just good to go.
Yeah, well, it's like I have this awful sense of urgency too, where I'm just like, okay, Patty Griffin made it by the time she was 30. I need to get on this shit,
Yeah.
Like I just don't want to be sitting here waiting on. Sorry, my battery thingy. I'll probably have to go get a charger, but I don't want Corona to end and me go back to the restaurant and work at the restaurant for like another 20 years.
Right.
It's like I don't need to be Prince, but it'd be dope if I had like enough money to put into like an investment thing that grows, so that no matter how big I got as an artist, I would always have a retirement or like something like that,
Yeah, that's very wise, actually.
I bought stock. My last $100 I had
nice.
to save on my savings account went into Fidelity account.
Tight. That's impressive. Bravo. Look at you. But yeah, like one of the first artists that I really that I worked with on his project where I contributed to it, the learning experience I had was he's really puts out a lot of works. He's well known. He's got airplay. And I watched him work. It's in the jazz world. And it was like he just pounded out solos because he didn't, like when he would solo over a track, he didn't sit there and obsess over it. It was like, yeah, that's great. Boom, I'm done. Move on to the next one. And it wasn't because the solos were perfect per se. It was just because he was trying to capture the moment and just move on.
Yeah.
And so he just puts out all these records and they just keep going and going. And that was like an eye-opening experience for me. That was like, oh, that's how they can just keep doing this, because Because since I've been in town, one of the main things that I've seen that keeps great artists from going anywhere is perfectionism.
Yeah.
Waiting for everything to be perfect before they do anything is so stifling.
It really is. Well, and like that's no longer a representation of that moment in your life if it's 10 years later and you're still working on it.
Yes.
Like art and music is supposed to be that, and if you wrote it, a decade ago, is it still as relevant as you thought it was then when you decided to make it into this thing? Well, and also, like, are you an artist if you aren't consistently creating new things? Like, are you afraid that you're not going to be able to create another new thing? Like, the point is to put this out, evolve, put something cooler out, evolve again. And, like, those steps along the way are what help people get to know you and, like, love the whole thing.
But, like, albums to me are like snapshots or like a Polaroid of where you're at a certain point in your life.
Yeah,
for sure. And then you can look back on it and it's like, man, I had some bad hair back then. What was I wearing? Kind of the same thing, but you move on.
Well, it's proof of your existence. Well, and too, like, if any of us ever do, like, make it, all those things, like, if any one of my songs pops, there is a wild rabbit hole for people to fall down into once they find it. And it's like each one of those things is a potential stream, whatever. It's another merch sale maybe, or another person falling in love with that song and adding it to their playlist that they didn't know about. Like,
yeah, I've been involved with some pretty amazing projects. And that was my big mistake. Another thing that I did early on was I'd be in these awesome projects, and you'd be in them forever that weren't going anywhere because the leadership was too afraid to jump. Oh, we got to practice for at least 4 or 5 hours a day, rehearsal and this and that, and we do like 1 gig a month.
Yeah.
After rehearsing continually week after week after week, no road dates. No anything, and looking back, it was like, man, what the heck was I thinking? Why was I doing that? But yeah, so
I think that's a lot of, like, mental shit that we as artists have that we don't realize is, like, getting in our way until after the fact.
So when you're on stage, how nervous do you get as a leader?
You've seen me.
I know.
Oh my God.
So how do you get over the hurdle?
I just go and remind myself
go.
that I can't stop because we're on stage.
Right on. Yeah.
And that's why these live streams are hard, because when you're on stage, you have all those people there, like, like, oh, if I look up, like, I'm definitely on stage. There are lights and people, and I can't stop singing right now.
Right.
But the live stream, I look up and I see, like, my bookshelf and a picture of my dad making a funny face, and I'm like, ah.
Yeah, it's definitely a strange time for sure, as far as that's concerned, because that's what most of us have. Well, that's what we all have to do now.
Yeah.
No, it's been cool to see how your streams have been going, though. Like, you definitely have it together more than most people.
I got a lot of those ideas from being on Auburn's live stream or whatever. But, like, the multi-streaming is really cool, and I've been trying to build up a YouTube anyway. But, like, once I hit 1,000 followers, I get to live stream straight to YouTube from my phone.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, so that's a goal, and I'll finally get to monetize if I ever get to put out another music video.
Right on. Yeah. So how'd you feel like the Hippie Speedball recording sessions went?
Friggin' dope. Kirby texted me yesterday. He was like, I love them.
Yeah, they sound great. The lineup is pretty killing, actually.
You guys or the songs?
The band.
Yes, I know.
Not to brag. But yeah, the lineup's really good. All the guys in the band are really cool. They're all seasoned, You getting the charger?
I'm getting the charger just in case.
Cool. She's giving us a tour of the new apartment, folks.
Oh, it's not new. It's just new to me.
Yeah. Yeah. When did you move? You moved in like not that long ago.
Not that long ago, and I'm already kind of over it.
Now that you have to be there all the time, thanks to the quarantine.
Yeah, no kidding, man. Okay, now I need a plug.
Yeah, I don't think I've gone out of I don't think I've left my property in like 3 weeks.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Oh,
I
yeah,
haven't.
because you were staying in.
Yeah, I was staying in.
How has it been? Are you guys do you feel like you're in an apocalypse movie yet?
I do.
I do. Everyone else seems fine, but I do.
You know, because I'm worried about my family. I'm worried. I don't want to get sick. Even though Tennessee seems to be faring better than some other states, but still.
Yeah, I definitely don't want to get sick. And I don't want to not be able to see my parents and stuff.
Yeah. Plus, I'm scared how long we're going to have to wait before we can start gigging again.
Yeah, that's the weird thing, because I think I heard that there was another outbreak in China or something. I don't know if that's for real, but I was watching the live news stream. But I don't understand how we could go back to normal anything without a vaccine or a treatment.
I don't know how it could happen without unless there's a really good therapeutic like Tamiflu for the flu. People get sick.
Like a treatment,
Yeah, people get sick. Oh, you got some symptoms? Take this, you'll be fine.
Mm-hmm.
But until then, yeah, walking into a room where there's 300 or 400 people is kind of a scary thing right now.
I buy groceries for my parents, and it's like towards the end of it, I'm like, oh, okay, hurry. I don't want to wear the gloves anymore. The shit's on my face.
You're holding your breath for the whole time.
Yes. Every time someone walks by without a mask, I'm like, oh.
You turn your head and hold your breath.
Yes.
Yeah, or you don't want to you're walking behind somebody, you're freaking out.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah. It's if I can smell you,
you're too close.
You're too fucking close, man.
Yeah. Yeah. I always wondered too, so you come to Nashville. Where are you originally from? I can't remember.
Just south of Atlanta.
Yeah. So you come to Nashville and you just want to do the artist thing, right? It's not like, oh, I want to go to Nashville and become a backup singer or any of that kind of.
I could never sing background vocals. Those chicks are another level, man. I can't sing harmonies. I open my mouth and I know what's supposed to go there, but it doesn't come out.
So you've never had any desire to sing anybody else's music? No cover bands?
No. I've played covers over the years to get guarantees on the road and that sort of shit with my bands, but I don't I grew up with writers. When we moved here, my dad became friends with a guy named Harley Allen, who was a big writer. And then my childhood was going to his house for writers' rounds, and everyone had an acoustic guitar in their latest song. It wasn't a jam all the time. It was pass that around and let me hear your lyrics kind of thing, So I was always trying to write better songs instead of trying to learn other songs, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, that's what.
I always sang them. I sing along to the radio. I love singing along to shit and but I don't want to sing my voice out either for 4 hours and not be able to sing my own stuff because I was singing somebody else's stuff.
Right. You paint too.
Yeah.
You draw. So how important is that to you?
I don't know. I want to be able to do it. If I could just do those things, I would love that. If I could just paint all day long or do photography. When I was in high school, my focus was photography and studio art. So if I could do those things to fund the music, that would be my ideal situation.
That'd be cool. Yeah. Two loves, and that's all you're doing. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, I think some of the paintings that I've been doing lately could be shower curtains or some shit. I just gotta figure out how to. Oh, you'll like this. I almost became a jigsaw puzzle maker.
Really? Like
Yes.
recently?
Yes.
How's that happen?
Well, okay, so there's this Canadian company that will, for $9,000, mail you a jigsaw machine.
And then you just like print the picture and press it with a stamp or something?
Yeah, so like that actually sounded pretty cool. I was like, if I had a $10,000 credit card, I might do this if it came with all the shit. But it's just the machine and the die. But you have to like go like out and get all the other things from local places, whatever. But I mean, jigsaw puzzles, man. Like during the Depression, they became huge because
Well,
everyone had to stay home.
there's about to be, I think we're headed for another depression right now.
They're already sold out on all the
That's crazy.
print-on-demand sites. So I was like, man, if I had $10,000, I would have a jigsaw puzzle maker. All I gotta do is email the guy back, you know? Because I've been emailing everybody. You got a job opening.
Yeah, I make jigsaw puzzles. Here you go.
Why not? Have these people jigsaw puzzles everywhere.
Yeah. All right, Dylan. It's been real. I'll let you go. Thanks for all the insights. That was pretty cool, actually.
Yeah,
Hopefully.
thanks for the invite.
Yeah, totally. Hopefully it puts a bug under some butts of our fellow artists out there thinking new ways, you know. I like to get some ideas. I like to see what people are doing and get some cool ideas how we all can like figure this current situation out.
Keep the music flowing.
Yeah, so
Bomb Shelter is still doing stuff.
They're still cooking?
Everyone's looking for like mixing and mastering and all that.
Yeah, very cool studio in Nashville, everybody. That's where we did Hippie Speedball record. So, but all right. I hope to play with you again soon.
It will happen.
It will happen, but all right. I'll talk to you later.
Bye.
So, bye.